Hello and welcome to Versus Live. I'm Ross Merriam.
And I'm Corey Baumeister.
And we've got Rob in the booth. Say, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee, Rob.
And never sent there for whom the bell tolls for thee, Rob.
A little off, but we'll get to.
You know, give me the Metallica lyrics. I got those down.
That is John Dunn. A little older than Metallica.
I respect that from you, Rob. I love that. Give you Metallica's one. Just I like it.
We are finishing up here with our day exploring Pioneer, and we are doing it, as Corey said before the break, with our favorite decks right now. And you know, if I had to play a Pioneer tournament tomorrow, this is probably what I would register. That is certainly what you would register.
Certainly what I'm going to be playing until the end of time. So
Corey, of course, playing JESKAI LUKKA, a deck that is very well situated to win these mid-range battles.
Yep.
You know, that synergy that LUKKA and Fires have, or Yorion and Fires have.
Yep.
And the power of LUKKA and Agent really does sort of go over the top, and you kind of ignore that attrition battle. You end up just creating this lopsided resource advantage on the battlefield, often by taking lands and just locking cards in your opponent's hand. And that's how you sort of blunt the card advantage. Like, yeah, you've drawn a bunch of extra cards, but if you can't cast them, it doesn't matter.
Yep. Yeah.
And then you're the one that has this advantage. So that really, really nice you know, strategy to break that tension in mid-range mirrors and just get out of that arms race.
Yep.
So that's awesome. And then this Simic Spirits deck, like I said again before the break, really is the Pioneer version of mono blue aggro.
Okay.
We're playing 4 Curious Obsession, 2 Sixth Sense, which is just green Curiosity.
Or Keen Sense, right?
No, Keen Sense is the old one.
Oh, it's actually called Sixth Sense?
Yeah, there was so that one's from Sixth Sense is from Amonkhet. Keen Sense was from Planar Chaos.
Yeah.
It was a plane shifted Curiosity. So green has 2 Curiosities, and blue has Curiosity and Curious Obsession.
Did you know Keen Sense or Sixth Sense was dead the whole time? I don't want to spoil.
You just stole my joke. I was going to say it just means Ross has been dead the whole time.
Yeah. Is there a picture of Bruce Willis in the background of the Sixth Sense?
And the Spirits offer additional protection for that kind of gameplay. You know, Rattle Chains, Mausoleum Wanderer. There is a couple Storm. What's the one that everybody played in mono blue?
Stormgeist or whatever, the tap them down flyer, right?
No. The one that's not a spirit. It's the one that was in mono blue.
Spectral Sailor?
No, that one's a spirit.
Oh.
The one that protects your stuff. God, how do I...
Siren
Storm
Chains?
Tamer.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
A couple of those
The
in addition to your normal spirits. And then Lofty Denial is just a great counterspell. In this mid-range format, people are tapping out for 4, 5, 6 mana cards. Lofty Denial is just excellent.
Yep.
All your creatures fly, so that's fine. I think this deck looks really sweet. I took the list that made the top 4. I've changed the sideboard and the mana base a little bit.
Okay.
So you're down to 20 lands because the curve is much lower.
Okay.
You've got rid of Spell Queller. The 3 drops on the deck are Brazen Borrower and Nebelgast Herald, but that's it. So there's only 8 3-drops. So, and you draw a lot of extra cards, so you don't quite need as many lands. But at 20 lands, they were playing a Hash Up Oasis and 2 Mutavault, and I thought 17 blue sources just wasn't enough. So I'm only, I cut 1 Mutavault and 1 Hash Up Oasis. I'm playing an Island and a Mana Confluence just to keep the number of green sources the same.
Okay.
We'll see how that works out. My sideboard doesn't really change that much for this matchup. I thought the Cerulean Drakes that they had were narrow as an anti-aggro card because you know there's non-red aggro decks all the time. I'm playing Permeating Mass, which you've seen in Bant Spirits before, and is a nice early blocker against those decks. And I'm playing 1 extra Mystical Dispute just because Spirits did well last weekend. It's really good in the mirror. Should also be good here. So,
not bad here at all.
Minor changes here. The core of the deck is still very much the same, and I think quite good.
Cool.
And this should be a nice matchup. You know, I'm going to be ahead early. It's going to be about whether or not I can close the game out. This deck does not close games as quickly as Azorius or Bant Spirits. You don't have Collected Company. You have 1 fewer Lord, and you're just less aggressive overall. So that's going to be a big tension here, but you do just find your interaction more often. I'm going to have more copies of Lofty Denial per game, more protection spells for my creatures per game. The big thing is going to be Supreme Verdict out of your deck. I don't get to play Selfless Spirit or Spell Queller, which are your best cards against Supreme Verdict. There are then, as a compensation, 3 copies of Heroic Intervention in the sideboard. Those are going to be important in this matchup.
Okay, yeah, checks out to me. I've changed the LUKKA deck a little bit that you can see on Cardboard Live. The main thing is like Chain to Rocks. You know, we usually had to play like Baffling End or Glass Casket and stuff, but Chain to Rock being 1 mana and still being able to blink it out with Yorion and stuff is pretty sweet. Other than that, you know, I mean, this deck really is a core machine that can't change a lot of cards. And, you know, I think it's very, very good right now. Now, granted, this style of deck plus blue-white control are the 2 decks that I don't necessarily want to face, but blue-white control is at the top for sure. I hate playing against that deck. It's just really tough when you're a Fires deck. You have to play that game where you have to kind of have counter spells plus Fires in your deck post-board, which is pretty awkward because you just don't have enough to take out in a Yorion-style deck because you have so many anti-creature cards, since that's what the metagame is mostly about. But, yeah, I mean, this should be a pretty close matchup. I purposely threw the last match so I could be on the play here, so pretty smart planning on that one. You know, had the Wrath effects ready to go for your Winota turns, and I was like, I really want to go first for round 3, so I didn't cast him, so yeah.
Okay.
He bought it, chat. He bought it. All right, so I'm going to be going first, hoping for the best.
I thought you were hoping for the worst.
Well, this is already a horrible start. I don't think I can keep this. It's pretty weak. Guess this isn't terrible. So I do have a little bit of interaction, but we definitely would have to draw something decent here. I'm gonna mulligan. Having Agent in your hand just sucks so bad, but I think it was pretty close. Yeah, 3 lands on top, that would have been bad.
I have a solid hand. It's an easy keep here. Not mind-blowingly good, but
okay.
I get to draw a card every turn. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Well, we both get to do that, so.
No, only I do.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're probably going to win
Didn't you see the announcement from today?
I did not.
Yeah, you don't get to draw any more cards.
Wow, I have to win off my 7?
Yeah.
Well, thank God my deck is powerful.
It's the Corey Stud rule.
Oh, okay.
You have to play Stud Magic.
Sure. All right, Rob, do you have a question for us?
I do not, unfortunately.
Ooh, all right. Well, the queue is open for anybody that wants a question answered.
Just to be clear, that rule has no bearing on your level of physical attractiveness.
Oh, okay. So not Studley at all.
No.
Dang it. Okay, well, I tried. I'll have to let my mom know. All right, I can keep this one. I think... Ooh, this is a tough bottom. Because this card is not great, but I kind of need it for the hand. Very interesting. Could just get rid of this. It feels bad and it feels wrong, but not the worst. Nah, I'm going to get rid of Omen of the Sun. It's too bad of a card in this matchup. And then...
when the 1/1s don't get into combat.
Exactly. It's not great. I mean, we need it for, the deck, but it's not worth it, so...
Okay. Well, I will lead on a Mausoleum Wanderer.
Alrighty. So I'm going to get a mountain. Mausoleum Wanderer, eh? Alright. I'm going to untap, draw. I'm going to play this right away. It is it's instant or sorcery,
yes.
Right? Okay, so I'm going to play the Omen right away. Those are the kind of stuff I want. So we'll leave both those on top, draw, and then your go.
I'm going to play a Supreme Phantom and get in for 3.
Okay.
Brings you to 17.
17.
Pass the turn.
Got some options here. It's for sure going to involve taking 2.
15.
Wanderer shuts down a lot of plays pretty consistently. Not a ton I can do about it. Let's see. It's an option. It is an option. Not a great one. Not a great option. I am just going to go with the Deafening Clarion. Both modes.
I will sack to Canis.
Saw the line. All right, your go.
Let's get in for 1.
14.
And play a Siren Storm Tamer.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Alrighty. Pretty obvious lofty denial here, so I don't want to make any silly plays. But I am going to go to 12 and pass to you.
I will jack for 2.
I'm going to cycle a 2/2 shark.
That's what I figured.
All right. Draw. So this is not a spirit, so I can block that. Yeah, I'll block here.
Okay, I will Blossoming Defense the Storm Tamer.
Oh yeah, you do have that, I suppose.
You take 1, go to 11.
Yep.
And then I'll play an island and pass the turn.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go for a Fires of Invention.
That resolves.
LUKKA.
That resolves.
All right, I will tick up and pass to you.
On your end step, I will play a Nebelgast Herald.
Okay.
I am going to attack you for 6.
3, 4, isn't it 5?
Oh, it is 5.
Yeah.
You are right. That's still fine.
Okay, I will
So you
go
go
to
to
6.
6.
Yep.
I will shock to 18
Okay.
and pass the turn.
All right, I'm afraid.
Got 2 spells, Corey. Better make them count.
Yeah, don't feel great about this. So I don't have very good ones in my hand, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, the Fires of Invention LUKKA with no creature out turn is not...
Yeah, well, honestly, I probably should have... I completely spaced Blossoming Defense. I was like, this seems like a no-brainer attack, but got me good.
That said, Siren Storm Tamer pretty good against Agent. You know,
Yeah.
You gotta stop a trigger.
That's true. All right, I'm going to put this into my hand.
Sure.
Then I'm going to play Yorion.
Sure.
And gonna blink out just Omen. Yeah, I almost would rather have the flyer here. I don't think I can do too much here.
Only got 1 spell.
Yeah, but I do not have a good one. So I could try to LUKKA this.
The thing is, Agent is just going to trade for this, whereas Yorion's going to block something else, but maybe because of Herald, Yorion's is never going to block.
Yeah.
But if I play another Spirit, the dealing with this doesn't stop lethal.
Mm-hmm.
Any other Spirit will add at least 2 power.
Yeah, I just kind of think you have a Brazen Bar, and I can't beat that regardless, would be my guess. So... all right, I will... I'll negative.
Trying to think what Corey can have to not die here. And I think the only answer is a sweeper of some kind. So I'm just going to let this happen.
Okay.
I think he's just trying to bait me into playing stuff before and into playing another thing and having him get a sweeper.
All right. Dun 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 dun.
So right now he can't even shark. He's played his land for turn.
Mm-hmm.
So Shark Typhoon is not a problem.
Yeah, I think I'm dead. All right, I will try to gain control of this.
Of Supreme Phantom?
Yep.
This still leaves me 3 power, which means a single... Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and... I'll play LUKKA.
That is also fine.
Negative Supreme Phantom.
I will bounce the Supreme Phantom back to my hand.
Okay. Yeah, and then you just get to play Brazen. Yeah, okay, I'm dead.
Rattle Chain Supreme Phantom. If you had a sweeper, I had 5 power of creatures with you at 6.
Yeah.
This is a little awkward, but did not seem like you were gonna catch up that
Yeah,
game.
definitely needed a verdict there instead of a Clarion. That would have been super helpful on the Deafening Clarion turn, but I guess I did only have 3 mana, so. All right, that is going to do it for game 1. We are going to see what kind of sideboard options we have, and yeah, we might be able to, we got a lot of time, so who knows, we might be able to do a best 3 out of 5 if I just keep getting beat that fast, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with JESKAI LUKKA up against Simic Tempo. All right, everybody, welcome back to sideboarding here on Versus Live with JESKAI LUKKA up against Simic Spirit. Sorry, I got that wrong the first time. For me, any kind of matchup where you have a lot of flyers, where you're trying to, literally fly over me for a huge amount of life totals, Azorius Spirits, Simic Spirits, all kind of check the boxes, as well as like hyper aggressive decks like Mono Red. I make the change for Resolute, Angel, for Agents. Taking one of your flyers, if I'm super far behind, isn't going to be enough, but if I'm at 8 and I go back up to 20, that's going to help me get enough time where I can just control your battlefield with sweepers.
And that's your key resource. So you really just need to buy time. Given enough time, you're going to take over the game.
Exactly.
Way more powerful individual cards.
Exactly. And then ECDs just do not have enough targets here. Against the Azorius Spirits deck, they're okay.
Fury Eagle and Spellcaller as additional targets.
Exactly. And then we're taking out 1 Omen. This card is fine. And then on the draw, Narsets are usually pretty bad against Spirits as well. So those are cards I want to take out. But the one unfortunate thing of Yorion LUKKA is you just have 80 cards, so there is a couple matchups where you just cannot have a perfect configured deck, and you're like, I hope I really don't draw this particular card. But your deck is so powerful that if you draw one bad card, it usually doesn't matter. Yeah.
And then, as weak as Narset usually is against creature decks, it does mess up my Curious Obsessions.
Yep.
So it's probably better here than against most because I'm not as threat dense, and I'm trying to draw extra cards on my own turn.
Yeah.
So,
it's definitely not dead. That's for sure.
Some value here. On my side, Mystical Dispute, obviously great here. And then I mentioned before the match started, Heroic Intervention, so important against Supreme Verdict. So happy to have it here. Cutting some of the Blossoming defenses, you don't need as much just spot removal defense because Corey's deck doesn't play a ton of spot removal. Just some Chain to the Rocks, blocks and detention spheres. We already have Rattle Chains, still leaving in a couple defenses, and Siren Storm Tamer. Want to leave in the Storm Tamers because getting under the JESKAI Fires deck is a really easy way to beat them. So I don't leave in all my 1-drops. I'm cutting Nebelgas Herald. There's not many creatures to tap down here. It can sometimes be useful against, an Angel or a Shark token, but usually the Shark token's coming in at instant speed, and I have to tap out on my own turn to tap it down.
Not what you want to be doing.
Not what I want to be doing. I've got 4 Brazen Borrowers, which is nice, so that's going to really help out against those Shark tokens.
Yep.
But otherwise, just really have to be careful of those.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Also, sorry, I'm bringing in 2 more sweepers, and then Mystical Disputes are excellent against you.
Single best card in the format against all Spirits decks.
Exactly. And, people think, like, well, you have Fires in your deck. Isn't that kind of a nombo? And it is, but it's a nombo that's pretty easy to play around, and Dispute in the early game is good. But there's times when I just, start to go off with Fires, and then I draw 2 counter spells after Omening, and then you just Teferi bounce your Fires, and then play the control route, and then, you're pretty in trouble there. So while it does seem like a nombo, and it is, you can play around it pretty well late game, and it's still just a great early game threat.
Yeah, and that's when you want to be using it. You're trying to buy time, so stopping the early development out of the Spirit decks is exactly what you want to be doing, and there's no better card than Mystical Dispute at doing that.
Agreed, and I even like the list that I even played a little bit last night because I just love this deck. I'm having so much fun before people are, maybe playing all tempo decks or all blue-white control, when I'm still getting to pick apart on Niv Mizzet decks for however long that's going to last. I'm going to keep doing it. And then I actually added the 4th Dispute too, because there's just too many matchups where it's excellent.
Yeah, the card is just messed up. I hate it.
Yeah, you do like blue tempo decks, so it's not great for you. All right, so I'm going to be going first. Let's hope for a little bit better of a game there. I kind of got wrecked.
Disagree. I think that game is perfect.
All right.
Not have gone better.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to be taking a mulligan too. I've got a pretty awkward hand. I've drawn the 1 Immutable, which I was even skeptical of leaving 1 in, but I wanted to try it. And I mean, I don't have a 1-drop. I have Obsession. It's just going to be so hard to defend.
Yeah. Immutable does not seem great in that deck to me, to be honest.
I was skeptical. I wanted to leave 1 in just as a test, but I would be surprised if it stayed in my deck as I played more with this.
Yep. Maybe your Mutavault can get a 6 cents on it. Could be kind of cool.
I do love me some Mutavault.
I do too.
I'm biased, but
yeah. But I mean, there's too many times when I feel like it. You need Island or Island Forest to be able to go blue creature plus Keen Sense and or 6 cents, and then a way to protect it. That kind of draw is so good, and I'd want to maximize that happening as much as I can. Just because that's how you beat a lot of decks,
Completely agree.
All right, let's try this again. A good gentleman's mulligan here.
You both should just mull to 0.
Yeah. All right, well, it started off really scary, but the hand got better at the end, so I think I will keep.
I will be keeping as well.
I think I honestly have to get rid of this. It's just kind of bad. Let's see. I'm on the play. My mana base isn't perfect here, though, that's for sure. So maybe I'm just going to get rid of this. I don't really love that card anyways. Our hand looks a little weird putting that on the bottom, but pass to you.
I will start with a Mausoleum Wanderer.
Okay. All right. I will go with a Steam Vents tapped and pass to you.
I will play a Curious Obsession on Wanderer.
Okay.
Attack for 2.
I will take it.
Draw a card.
18.
And pass the turn.
Tap. Pretty obviously there's something across the way. I'm just going to play Land Go.
I will attack for 2.
1/1 shark. Baby shark.
And block, I assume, or?
Yeah, I'm going to block.
Okay. Then I'll pass.
All right. Worst possible draws. Love it. Love it. All right, I'm going to go for a Narset.
Narset is going to resolve.
All right. Now do I want to activate? I think so. I mean, you can like play a Brazen Borrower and then attack it, I guess, but you could just take the turn off, gaining a little bit of advantage. Yeah, we're gonna activate. 1, 2, 3, and a 4. All right, I think I want to take this. Yeah, we're gonna take it to Teferi and then pass to you.
In your end step, I'm going to play Rattle Chains.
Okay.
Narset is very annoying.
Like that, like that.
I will Obsession the Rattle Chains.
Okay.
I will send the Rattle Chains at Narset and the Wanderer at you.
All right, I will take 2.
You're going to go to 16, and I will draw 1 card.
Yep.
And then I will... shock, go to 18.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
All right, need a good one. That was a good one. All right, really no choice here but to go for a verdict.
I drew the intervention off the Obsession.
Love it, love it. Your go.
Doing it, chat. We're doing it.
Was lucky.
Attack you for 5.
11.
I'll draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
Love this deck. It's so good. Play this tapped. It's your turn.
Get out of here.
Resolve.
Your go.
I will play a Rattle Chains on your end step.
Okay.
I will 6th Sense it.
Okay.
I will attack you for 2.
All right.
Do to 9, and I'll draw a card.
Okay.
And play an island and pass.
Untap. Draw. I'm gonna go for Fires of Invention.
You have 4 in hand?
Yep.
That's fine.
Land tapped and go for a Teferi.
I will Blossoming Defense my Rattle Chains in response to Teferi.
Okay. Does it result?
Yes.
Okay, nothing to tick down, so tick up and pass to you. So it's definitely worse than Curious Obsession just because it doesn't pump, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise it's the same thing.
Yeah, it doesn't force you to attack, though.
Oh, yeah, that is a plus.
Okay, in some trouble here. I drew pretty poorly off of the extra draws I got after the Heroic Intervention.
But you were just happy dance talking.
Yeah. If I attack the Teferi, then the only way you can bounce Rattle Chains is by getting rid of it.
Yep.
Which is somewhat nice, but I don't draw a card that way. You're set up to Yorion next turn. So I think if I attack Teferi, you will probably just plus Teferi, get Yorion, play Yorion, blink Teferi, and just have a blocker for the Rattle Chains. So I think I'm actually forced to attack you.
I go to 7.
Go to 7, I draw a card, and I need to draw a good one.
Don't draw a good one, please.
Let's play a land and a Mausoleum Wanderer.
All right.
Pass the turn.
Well, let's have a fun one. Okay, so let's go with bouncing Rattle Chains to start. Now let's go with a land tapped. I get Yorion back to my hand. I'm going to go to 20. I'm going to play Yorion, blink out these 2, and Then I'll pass to you.
So end step piece come back.
Yep. All right, put this back to 4.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Pass the turn.
All right, end step cycle. Untap. Didn't play your creature.
Oh, I meant to do that.
Oh, okay. I was like, do you play Shark Typhoons? Okay. Well, now I am going to attack with these two.
I go to 10.
Okay. I'm going to bounce Yorion. Draw. I'm going to play LUKKA. And then I'll take it up. I only have one more Resolute Angel, and I don't really care to blink out my Yorion. So now I'm going to Yorion, blinking out these two. And this. And I will play Chain to the Rocks on the Mountain.
I will lofty denial that.
Okay, I'll pay for it.
I will mystical dispute that.
All right.
I drew the 2 counter spells right after they were no longer relevant.
Of course.
Needed them earlier. It would have been very different.
Bring these back in, go back to 20, and pass to you. And now once this engine gets going with Teferi, you gain value every single turn. And I don't even have omens to make it crazy. But just the blink Yorion every single turn is pretty brutal.
This would have also been pretty good a couple turns ago, but not good enough here.
Yeah.
Needed it when the Teferi was sitting at 2 or... what can I do here? I think I need to hold it, actually. I'm at 10, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just slam go.
Okay. Untap. Draw. Attack for 8.
I'll go to 2.
All right. I will Teferi bounce Yorion. Now I will tick up. Since I do not have access to another creature, we'll try to hit the Resolute Angel. We did. Not that it truly matters, but still decent. So we'll play Resolute Angel. We'll play Yorion. Blink this out, blink this out, blink this out. I'm going to play Chain to the Rocks.
Yeah, you got me.
All right. All right. Alive for the old marbles here.
The intervention was key, but I just needed 1 counter spell to follow it up. Couldn't find it in those next 3 draws. It was just 3 lands.
But you did find Heroic... Oh, is that what you said, the intervention?
Yeah, I found the intervention off of the 1 obsession.
Oh, I thought you meant the fires of invention. No. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
And then then after the heroic intervention, I had that turn with 2 obsession creatures and a draw step. So I had 3 draws to find 1 more piece of interaction.
Yep.
I found 3 lands and died.
Yeah, I thought for sure my fires was getting countered, or you were saving it to counter my Teferi that you knew about. So I was like, yeah, there's not a chance I'm winning this. But yeah, if you didn't have anything, I could definitely come back.
I found 2 lands Keen Sense, which I then saved and put on the other rattle chain.
So even the turn I actually successfully verdicted, I could have went Fire's Verdict, but it's just too risky, you know?
You can't just run the fires into a counter spell.
Exactly. So there's that.
As it turns out, it would have worked, but...
Yeah, exactly. You know, hindsight's 20/20, but it would not have been a great play if you had anything. So.
Yeah, I think it's important to put me on a counter spell at that point. I've drawn a bunch of extra cards.
Yeah. I
play a fair number of them.
Agreed. All right, Rob, you got a question from us, from our lovely audience?
Do not right now. I guess a couple people have kind of mentioned but haven't asked directly. But should you be playing Collected Company in a Spirits deck, or are you just trying to maximize on this more
tempo version?
Not in this version. This deck only plays 26 creatures, and you need all the spells you play go well with each other. This is just a very different deck than what you're used to with Banned Spirits.
Yeah.
So like I said, this is mono blue tempo. just port it into Pioneer, and the spirits just end up being the best creatures to play. And you get, with green, you get the best protection spell and blossoming defense, and an extra Curious Obsession in 6th Sense. So you got to think about the decks very differently. I absolutely don't think you need Collected Company, even in the normal creature heavy spirits list. I think Azorius is better for reasons that I explain in my article this week. If you want a more detailed explanation, but the reality is Collected Company puts a lot of restrictions on your deck building, makes sideboarding a lot harder, makes your mana base worse. And now that you get to be a little bit more interactive, you get to be more of that actual tempo deck that Spirits wants to be. Banned Spirits really is just kind of an aggro deck, and if you can get some tempo with Spellqueller, Wanderer, or Rattle Chains, that's great. But those cards are pretty narrow in their application, and they have to come down at the right time in order to be useful. But for the most part, you're just flooding the battlefield with spirits, and you have 8 lords, and you're attacking your opponent to death. These decks, Azorius Spirits and now Simic Spirits, are much more disruptive because of Lofty Denial, and now with Simic, you're also playing that whole Curious Obsession engine. So,
and I think even before, I remember Zan, Jeremy, Bertioni, and all those Lotus Box boys were just preferred the Azorius Spirits deck, pre-combos, and it makes sense in a combo world. Of course, that makes more sense to have more disruption, but I think Collected Company has a large amount of variance, and you have to build your deck in such a way that I don't know if it's really worth it anymore. Because it's a different world than when Collected Company was broken. There's a lot better cards, and you want your deck to be multi-dimensional these days, and not just one-sided. And that is what Collected Company forces you to do.
One of the real big things that
but still a great card
dominate Standard was Reflector Mage, and getting to find interaction off of it. The Spirits decks don't really get to do that. Sometimes you can find a Queller if you have company and they play a spell into it, but that doesn't happen that often.
Not very often, no.
In aggressive matchups is really where it shined, because getting multiple creatures on the board at instant speed made it hard for them to, attack appropriately. And, you dug for things like Nebelgast Herald to shut down aggressive decks. So that's really where the card shines for Spirits. And aggro, there aren't a ton of aggro decks around right now. They're there. But they're not as prevalent as they were pre-ban, because aggro decks were the best way to combat combo decks that were dominant. So Collected Company for me is a relic for Spirits at this point.
I'm kind of with you. All right, let's get to our third and final game for the marbles, for the fantastic prize of Zai marbles.
All the marbles. I get to be on the play. That's good.
I was going to say, let's finally keep an opening hand, but...
Well, I have no lands. So
I have one land, so I have mulliganed to every game. Lame. Lame, I tell you.
Ever mulliganed in a single match on versus left.
I know, no kidding. Let alone every game with my favorite deck. There's just no justice in this world. No justice. That's all right. We're both mulliganing, so I can't complain too much, but I still might.
And the more you mulligan, the better it is to be on the draw.
That's true. That is true. I totally agree.
If I knew that both players were mulliganing to 5, I think regardless of the matchup, I would choose to draw.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That seems smart to me. All right, let's try our 6-card hands here for our final game on Versus Live for the week. It is Thursday, right? Yeah, okay.
Time is an illusion.
Yes.
It's a day, like every other day.
It blends together.
Sun goes up, sun goes down. Okay, I think I got to keep this one.
Yeah, me too. I'll keep. And I think this card is already pretty rough. So, yeah, we're going to put Narset to the bottom. Okay, let's do it.
We'll play Island Go.
Island Go, eh? All right. I will play Triome Go. Surprise! Got a creature.
Session it.
Okay.
Get in for 2.
All right.
Card.
18.
Play an Island and pass.
Island, pass. All right, I will take 2 and chain to the rocks.
You're a jerk.
Your go.
And a turn Spectral Sailor.
Okay.
Session this one.
Okay.
Attack for 2.
16.
Or 14 because you shocked.
Yeah. What?
You got
14. Yep.
Pass the turn.
Okay. Not as good of a follow-up this turn at all, but I got a Berthamolitis.
That resolves.
All right. Get a Plains and then Chain to the Rocks on my Triumph.
Got a second chain?
I sure do. It's going to be off the chain.
Well, your Chain to the Rocks resolves. I assume we're targeting
Yeah.
Spectral Sailor, and I will Rattle Chains it.
Okay, that'll check out. Pass to you.
I will attack you for 4.
10.
And draw a card.
Yep.
And pass the turn.
All right, we'll get an 0-4 wall. Draw. I got a verdict.
I drew Heroic Intervention.
God!
Last possible turn.
You are so lucky, and I lose my wall. Your go.
And it's actually could be important. So now LUKKA is not a big threat.
Yeah. Oh, Ross. And I was even just making fun of Heroic Intervention before, so I'm like, is that really the best card? Like, that card is so medium sometime, and now you're just wrecking me with it.
I mean, I agree. I think this card is in sideboards way more often than it should be.
Yeah.
But specifically in this deck, you're vulnerable to Supreme Verdict. And it is very good against Supreme Verdict. So I actually really like it here. It might be the first time I've ever seen Heroic Intervention in a sideboard and thought, wow, that's good.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think it originally. Sense. I saw Heroic Intervention. I was like, another person putting intervention on their board. Then I was, thought it was taking over the list, and I realized, like, actually, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because it's dive down plus, preventing Wrath. So it does seem good in a obsession build.
I will attack you for 4.
I'm down to 6.
Draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
Pass the turn.
No land? That's scary. All right. Gain 2.
Brings you to 8.
Yep. I got a verdict. Got to clean them up eventually. Okay, land go.
Okay, end step. I've got another Rattle Chains.
All righty.
I will 6 Sense it.
Okay.
Get in for 2.
6.
Put you to 6, and I'll draw another card.
Alrighty.
And play Of My Coast, and pass the turn.
All right, I'm going to start with a Narset.
Narset. You have 1 card in hand?
Mm-hmm. Only 1.
Narset resolves.
All right, activate.
Yep.
Get an Omen. Gonna sack this. Doesn't really matter. Get a mountain. And I'll try to play Clarion.
Yeah, I will tap out for this dispute.
Okay. And pass to you.
Clarion is the card I was scared of.
Yeah, maybe I should have played it in the other order. I was trying to play around exactly that, but maybe I did it poorly.
You're at 6 right now?
Yep. Hanging on by the skin of my teeth.
You have 6 mana out. So I've got an interesting decision of whether or not to attack Narset or attack Corey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get to draw a card, obviously, because of the Narset.
Yep.
My 6th sense. So it really is 2 damage versus denying Corey that Impulse. I do think the Impulse is important, so I'm going to attack the Narset.
Down to 1.
Am I? 1 card in hand.
You know it.
Oh, and I know it's Omen. Yeah, I'll attack the Narset and pass the turn.
All right. Untap. Gonna start with an Omen.
Resolves.
I don't want Fires of Invention. Bottom those. Draw. Now I'm going to play a land, tap these, put Yorn into my hand, and pass to you.
On your end step, I'll play another Rattle Chains.
Rattle Chains, eh? I'm going to try to dispute that.
I will Lofty Denial your dispute.
Okay.
Play this.
Okay.
Blossoming Defense this.
No,
Attack
Blossoming Defense. All right, GG's. GG's. Ooh, like maybe could have forced through.
That was literally my, this was my remaining spells.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Yorn would have been sick because this is an empty chain.
Yeah.
So chain gets to re-go, and, if I wanted to upgrade this, so I don't think there was any way I could have replayed it. I mean,
that was just a tight game where I barely closed it out.
Yeah, I could have played Clarion first instead of Narset, I guess, but it's not like...
So if you do that, you do clear it away.
Yeah, and then I Narset, and then you dispute that.
And I get to play the Rattle Chains from my hand.
Yeah.
And then untap... that's actually a much more awkward spot for me, right? Because I would have missed out on 2 more damage. So I would have played the Wanderer. I think I would have ended up a damage short. So at that point, I think I might have attacked you and just let you have the Narset.
Yeah.
Because I drew the Lofty Denial that turn and just hope to deal with whatever you play.
Yeah.
But if you find a Verdict off of that Narset, then I'm in rough shape. I can counter this, I think, because I don't think you had a 7th land.
Yeah, who knows? Everything would have been pretty different, but
it would have been a little bit different. But
regardless, super close games, and it was well fought from both sides.
There were some weird turns where I wanted to hold up different things, so I never played that Mausoleum Wanderer, which is in my hand for several turns there. But one turn I left up 3 mana for my dispute in case you had Fires or Angers or Deafening Clarion, something like that. And then I had the Lofty Denial, and I had the Lofty Denial Rattle Chains, and the entire time I also had the defense. So I was just leaving up everything, figuring that 1 extra damage wasn't going to do me a lot of good because your life total was already even, and I was planning on dealing damage with Blossoming Defense and Rattle Chains. Yeah. But it could have ended up mattering, especially against that Narset. Or if I just draw a Spirit and then have Mausoleum Wanderer turn into a 2 on a key turn. Yeah. Could reduce my clock by a turn. But that was just a nice game to end it. Yeah, especially because I won.
Yeah, that was a fun one, and shows the ability to stay up with these blue-based tempo decks from the JESKAI Fires LUKKA deck. But it's not great. That's not what I want to be playing against. I want to be playing against Niv Mizzet, where they're trying to cast Haymakers, and then I get to steal Haymakers. Any matchup where I have to take these out, it's not ideal. But I do have the Void Widower for Winota decks is pretty nice, so you can really not Winota, but then again you can Eldritch Evolution, so that is still kind of annoying. But and then the Angels for decks like this, mono red, stuff like that.
Angels really good here, and your ability to stay in these games is largely due to the fact that I'm not putting a ton of pressure on your life total. I was attacking for 2 to 4 damage across the entirety of that game, and just barely limped over the finish line. And I drew 4 or 5 extra cards over the course of that game to do that. So that's going to be one of the weaknesses of this deck. It's one of the reasons that I think the Spirit Shell, and I go into this in my article, is a good thing to be doing when you're building that mono blue aggro style, which is what this deck is Supreme Phantom, because it lets you get that clock down. When you have 2 or 3 creatures in play, suddenly you get 3 extra damage on that turn you play Phantom, and you're really applying a lot of pressure. And then Brazen Borrower in this list I think is great for that same reason. It's a 3
That's just a great card. That's just a great card that people don't play enough. I mean, it's just so versatile. Having 2 cards in one is so undervalued. Just a fantastic fantastic card, and it honestly, I mean, there's been times when it's been good, when like Fire's decks were around in Standard where the bounce was really effective, but it hasn't seen enough play. In Standard especially, every other format is a little different, but largely a part of like Simic decks where everything has come into play abilities, you don't really want to bounce those, and that'll happen. And
it's incredibly important here because of the card Shark Typhoon. Would otherwise be a huge problem.
Oh yeah, Shark. I mean, if I drew a Shark there late at the end, if I just 5/5 Shark you're done. You're done. You're not beating that. So that's a good option we have. Also didn't find Teferi, but you did have some counter spells for it as well. But that's the disadvantage of playing 80 card decks. You don't always draw the good half of your decks, and that's a disadvantage. But Yorion is insane in this deck, where it's not so great in other decks. But
we talked about this matchup being something that is scary, and on paper it looks very scary for a deck like Yorion, and we played a close 3-game match.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
If that's going to be the matchup that you're scared of, that you have to play close 3-game matches where one draw step on either side can really change things. Like if I don't have the heroic intervention for that first verdict, dead. If you draw a Shark Typhoon and on one of those last turns, I'm dead.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign for this deck.
Yeah, and then those matchups where you're playing against like Sultai or Niv Mizzet and you're like blinking ECDs, it doesn't even feel like you're playing Magic. You always have 7 cards. Like it's just not fair. So, all right, that's going to do it for our Pioneer Short. We got some subs to thank. We got some sponsors to thank, and we're heading out.
All right, we've got a few subs today. Cryptic Dreams 85, Benjamin U. Dover subscribed for 20 months, and Heptagon 24 again gave out some subs today. They gave out 5 subs.
Wow. I was just going to make the bad joke of be like, come on, Heptagon, you're not going to actually, I swear I was going to make that joke, be like, do you not care about us, Heptagon 24? But
so much egg would have been on your face.
I know. And impressive. But yeah, thank you so much again, Heptagon. That is like, what? I think
that's like 7,000.
I think that's like 17 or 18 subs in our last like 3 shows. So thank you to everybody who supports the channel, especially Heptagon. Thank you for being so generous the last couple Versus Lives. We really appreciate the support here on the Twitch SCG channel. If you want to support SCG in another way and get some really cool benefits, you can head over to starcitygames.com/join-premium. $7.99 will gain you exclusive access to our amazing writers. You can check out that list or check out the article for this blue-green list, among many other things. Paulo Vitor, bunch of great people. It also gets you 5% off any kind of sealed product you order, 10% off singles, and then 15% off supplies. So go subscribe today.
And included in that 15% supply discount is the Ultimate Guard line that SCG does carry. We here at Versus Live use the Katana sleeves every day. So if you are a fan of those or other Ultimate Guard products, be sure to join Premium and take advantage of that discount.
Love it. All the value. And if you want to get yourself a nice gaming chair that we use on Versus Live every single show, head over to Carnox.com/SCG. That promo code will get you 10% off of your purchase.
And last but not least, we are sponsored by Coalesce Apparel. If you like the shirts that we wear here, if you're a fan of Mythic Meebo, as we are, you can head on over to coalesceapparel.shop and be sure to use the gift code SCG to get 10% off of your purchase there.
Yeah, how did we do this, man? I always call you every morning and tell you what I'm going to wear, and you still did this, Ross.
I'm honestly surprised that this hasn't happened before.
Yeah.
It's been many months now that we've been sponsored by Coalesce Apparel, been rocking their shirts, and we've got a lot to choose from. They have a ton of variety there. So, whatever your Magic proclivities may be, I'm sure there's something for you. But really surprised that this is the first time this has happened.
No kidding. Especially surprised because we hang out outside of Versus Live, and I wear these constantly because they're so comfy.
So he actually does. He's not lying.
They're so comfy. They're so soft.
We need Cedric to make some like dry fit ones for playing basketball.
There we go. That's what I need. That is what I need. All right, everybody, I want to thank you so much for watching this episode of Pioneer. I think the format is in a super healthy spot. It's incredibly fun. Whatever your style is, if you're the aggressive blue player who likes to strap Curious Obsession, that deck's good. If you like going over the top with Fires of Invention,
so good.
that deck's good. If you like playing mono green, that deck's good. If you like just casting absurd spells like Niv Mizzet, that deck's good. So go on, play some Pioneer. It is a blast to play. So we're going to be back Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're not sure what we're going to do, but there's some exciting historic action. There's some exciting modern action, and there's some awesome standard stuff going on this weekend. We have Standard Championship Qualifier number 3 going on. We're going to be playing some Standard again. I have no clue what I'm going to play right now. We'll see. I've been lost since I've lost Temur Reclamation. I'm trying to find my way again. I don't think I want to play Mardu Winota again, but I might. Who knows? So Standard qualifiers, or qualifiers to get into this Standard qualifier are running as we speak, as well as tomorrow. So if you want to play in this really fun event, play against some of the best SCG writers, as well as just plethora of other amazing Magic players.
Had to sneak that one in, didn't you?
I had to. Go ahead and try to qualify today or tomorrow, and we will see you on the Digital Battlegrounds on Saturday, and we will see you on 1 p.m. Eastern time back here on Versus Live. So for Corey, Ross, and Rob, peace out.